Hello, everyone. Vincent Herman popping in for a quick second here to do the intro to this episode. This is part two of what was originally a 3-hour recording of our SMP MCU review. You might notice Odal's audio does not sound great. Podcast engineering is a little new to me, and I was too distracted by the conversation and a couple other things to notice that he wasn't talking directly into his mic. We're dealing with this with him, but for this episode, we're just going to have to put up with it. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching this, first of all. And second of all, I'll see you again at the end to do the outro. Take it away, boys. The Infinity Saga came and went
Nope,
with
it's
a
the Infinity
bang,
Saga.
with a huge bang. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but we get past Endgame. What is it that they have started calling it? What is the saga? The Multiverse Saga. That's right. Yes, the Multiverse Saga. We enter the Multiverse Saga, which starts a new precedent with the MCU, which is quantity over quality. And I am quoting Kevin Feige, not exactly, but paraphrasing Kevin Feige on the idea of like that is what they were doing. Because he came out and said it, and he said they were going to reverse course, which they have, but we'll get there.
And it's not just the quantity of movies, but we also at this point get TV shows.
Yes. And now it's at this point because I know with the Infinity Saga we didn't want to go movie by movie, but Odal, if you could, because my phone is in use, can you bring up real quick a list of the MCU properties that have come out since Endgame? And while you're doing that, I'll just continue in saying, we have seen a rise in Marvel television. Special presentations.
Yes,
which,
like almost essentially a one shot.
I think there's only been one so far.
We've had
two. Werewolf
two
by Night.
Two. Oh no, is it a special presentation? The holiday special. Guardians.
That
holiday
was a special presentation. Okay. Yes. So we saw the introduction.
And then we're going to get one more soon with Punisher One Last Kill, I believe is what it's been titled.
Yeah, that one's coming. But we'll get there because that's the third leg of this whole thing. And as much of a Marvel stan as I am, well, an MCU stan anyways, cannot be denied. It has been a rough go.
It has. We've had some gems in there. Since we're on the subject of shows. While he's looking up a list of specifics, I know one that's semi-recent to Endgame is WandaVision. That was our first run at our live-action MCU, and fuck, they knocked it out of the park right off the bat.
It was a strong start. It was absolutely a strong start. Which
and honestly, it gave us hope, but in a weird way, I kind of feel like it kind of fucked us at the same time because a lot of us were expecting that high quality. We're expecting that same feeling, that same quality, that same mystery, that same anticipation for the next episode with every show coming forward. And then to be followed immediately with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I feel like it was a detriment to Falcon and Winter Soldier because WandaVision was such a high that it was hard to follow that. Think of a musical group. You can't have the Rolling Stones open and then you have fucking Mumford and Sons come out right after that. You know what I mean?
You're saying, but I have to argue against it.
And then with the reshoots,
the MCU came out of the box going like these. The goal is each movie is going to be of a different genre.
Yeah.
And so why can't the television shows be the same? There's no world where I want a Falcon and Winter Soldier to be the same kind of show as WandaVision.
No,
but I think
by
that's
no
what
means.
A lot of people...
But I see what you're saying. Yeah. But at least the same kind of in the same level, in the same playing field as a Wanda, but in the same vibe and flavor that Falcon and Winter Soldier is.
Yeah.
I think that they could have gotten closer there if they weren't scared about the real life events that was going on that kind of correlated with what was going on in the show.
You are correct because
they did
were
massive reshoots and the story felt a little
because the Flag Smashers were supposed to be a much bigger part of that
100% and their whole motive and everything, it was different.
Yeah.
It's the third time I've done that this episode. it was different because it was current events. We're 10 years in. We're 10 years in.
No, I'd say you get used to it, but we're going remote again immediately after this one. So. But no, yes, it did suffer for reshoots. And that, again, was the beginning of a really bad precedent that Marvel started setting, which was like, it doesn't matter what we shoot, we can always reshoot,
fix it,
and
post.
And that was kind of the beginning of the
and that's how you get the Secret Invasion.
So Odell, take us down the line. Everything since Endgame, what has come out?
So,
and just what's come out.
The best list that I've been able to find has it where it takes place in like real world time. So I'm going to do my best to kind of correct like release order, because this is
wait, are you saying like it's coming, they're giving you chronological?
Saying like, you know, Endgame takes place in 2023, but it came out in 2018.
Yeah.
Right. So this is on the Wikipedia page, and this is the timeline that it's giving me.
That's so weird.
What it's saying is like, say like it'll say Ant-Man 3 came out in 2020.
MCU release
order,
like post-Endgame.
MCU release order,
releases post-Endgame, release order post-Endgame.
Because that should I'm wildly surprised that it's, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like
the fact that it's giving you the real life release date and what year it was in the MCU.
Yeah, the only good thing you can find is so fucking specific. That's crazy.
So specific and kind of confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it was like a breakdown. Like it was literally a timeline going down the page.
Yeah.
And
nothing else. Jesus.
I can, off the top of my head, one of the earlier ones, post Endgame, and I'm doing this by trying to think real life. Shang-Chi was an early one.
Yeah, yeah.
With after Endgame, we had Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yes,
Far From Home was the.
Yeah, we had Loki. We had WandaVision. Like, are we just wanting?
I just want a list of what.
Yeah,
of projects, not just movies but shows. But
Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever. We had Agatha All Along. We've had Moon Knight, She-Hulk.
Great.
Werewolf
by Night.
Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Miss Marvel, Deadpool, Wolverine, Captain America, Brave New World, Thunder.
Quantity over quality, baby.
Yeah. But so if we look at phase 4, because again, Far From Home closed out the Infinity Saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had,
and that was just in Mysterio movies, in that movie. Real quick, just want to touch on it. What a great design, dude! Yeah. He looked great in that movie.
Yeah. But we had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home, all in 2021, as well as Loki and WandaVision, and I feel like there was another show that year. Okay. Well, it
was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. With all of those titles now stated, let's do the same thing with this that we did with the last one. What are some low notes? Low notes, and this is
can we do two apiece maybe? Like your favorite show, your favorite movie type of thing?
Yeah, let's go least favorite show, least favorite movie.
Okay. Out of all of those, man, I'd hate to say it because I actually enjoyed it. Probably the lowest out of all of those is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Really?
And I think for the exact reasons we've already talked about. Because every other aspect of it I really enjoyed. But there was, even without knowing ahead of time that there was reshoots, you could tell there was reshoots. The story felt incomplete. It felt a little choppy, yeah, and shifted. It felt like the main, I can't remember what her name was, but that main flag smasher, it felt like just her motives changed like midway through. I don't know. It just, out of all of those, because like you said, we had WandaVision. We have like She-Hulk. I love She-Hulk. Ms. Marvel. Loved Ms. Marvel. Loved Moon Knight.
Ms. Marvel. We'll get
Loved
that.
Moon Knight. I mean, literally every single one of those shows that came out, I feel like out of all of those, Falcon Winter Soldier probably has to be at the bottom. Loki, man, is up there for me. WandaVision, way up there. Ms. Marvel, way up there for me. I love Ms. Marvel.
Well, let's
Moon
keep
Knight,
it,
the whole
let's keep
night.
it on the low lights.
So
we're gonna get to the highlights.
But as far as low, I think it has to be that as far as the shows go. And I don't want to go too much deeper. We've already talked about it.
Right.
Movie wise, Post-Endgame. And I'm going to go by whether or not I'll watch it again. It would probably, without saying like, oh, I'll watch a clip of it, like this one scene or something, out of everything I watched, maybe Love and Thunder. Because there's some really fun parts of it, but overall, I don't know, there's Quantumania. And honestly, actually, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to have to say Quantumania, mainly because that movie stopped my wife from going to Marvel movies with me. She had a rapid fire of Love and Thunder and Quantumania, and it wasn't a good ride.
It's also just completely irrelevant at this point.
It is, yeah. I mean, the only
thing that's really that could possibly come out of
Coleman Domingo's been in rumors of maybe taking over that role, and if that's the case, I'm so on board for it.
Cassie Lang, we may see more of her in the future, and obviously we're going to see more of Anna.
I like the actress.
Honestly, I feel like they're going to do just a quick scene or so, like all the girls from the Marvels in Endgame type of thing with, hey, we're all the young Avengers, because we got to have some kind of payoff for all these post-credit scenes. Yeah,
but we'll get to we'll get to that. That's the third leg of this. I do want to say, since you brought up the Cassie Lang of it all, man. Why recast?
Why recast? I don't know.
Because the actress who played her before was good.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm familiar with who they did recast her with.
Why familiarity and shit? It's probably like a little more marketable, I'd say. I don't know. Like why do studios do some of the things they do? Sometimes it's just
I didn't
bad
care
calls.
much about I don't feel like she added anything to it. Because
I feel like for the most average Joe, they wouldn't have even noticed.
Right.
It's like old girl from fucking Arrested Development.
And don't get me wrong, she's great. She was great in Supernatural. She was in Freaky. I love. I can't remember that director's name, but
I love
Death
Freaky.
Day,
Yes.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Just quality movies.
God, that is her, isn't it?
Yeah,
Freaky.
that's her from Freaky. She does good work.
Yeah, and I literally just watched her in another movie recently. Yeah. She's a good actress.
Not to harp on that too much. For me, low lights, I think the weakest Marvel show is Moon Knight.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Yeah.
I can fully understand why. I think part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much was finally seeing a character that, especially like one of my best friends, has been like wanting to see visually for a long time. I love.
See, if I had to put that level element onto it, I would be offended for him. 'Cause I'm like, I'd be like, finally, he gets his opportunity to see this character, and you have to deliver. And
in my defense, I wasn't super familiar with Moon Knight, a lot of Moon Knight comics, even though I was super intrigued. I know that your brother was a big Moon Knight fan.
Right.
Odell became a big Moon Knight fan, and most of my Moon Knight knowledge came from secondhand. Odell knowledge.
Now that one was Remender, right?
Jeff
the
Lemire.
yeah,
Lemire.
Lemire. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm just trying to put a remender on everything.
Just trying to give him fucking props
Just
for
trying to give
everything.
that boy
The
a-
Bible, remender.
That was remender. Now I know that was remender.
Oscar Isaac, I love Oscar Isaac, so that helped. I've always been really big into like Egyptian like mythology and stuff, so like the visuals and all that. Like I enjoyed this show; it was a fun show. But that's me going in not knowing much about his.
I'm just talking like, and because I'm not like a deep lore Moon Knight person myself, but like just from a storytelling standpoint, I felt like the mystery was half baked. I felt like they wanted 2 more episodes, but maybe they couldn't get it.
That's another thing I was going to say. The beginning half was strong. The second half just kind of fell off, and it felt like you needed another episode or so.
They committed a huge sin, which is, Chekhov's gun is a thing. If you don't know, the Chekhov's gun is a principle in film and TV. Is if you introduce a gun in the first act, somebody has to fire it in the third act.
Yes.
And they did that with what's the cabbie's name?
Jake Lockley.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Lockley. They started setting up Jake Lockley. They gave you the breadcrumbs, and then in the third act, they did exactly what they've been doing the entire time. You don't get to see shit.
Yeah.
Until the post-credit scene
that they give you and then
for a season 2 we're never gonna see.
They almost said immediately, like there probably wasn't going to be like getting Oscar Isaac back for that. Might have been. There was almost immediately. They're like, this might be it.
They also
then why take this whole time to build this thing up that you're never going to pay?
They
off?
also build up a huge kaiju fight, and then they say, it's cool, that's happening over there. But let's focus on this thing. That's
I kind of
really
forgot about that. Yeah, that wasn't.
Let's focus on what's happening here. That's actually not that interesting and mostly dialogue driven, and you don't really care about the dialogue because it's kind of only really manifested in the last episode or so. And if you're going to do that, if you want to do the thing where like you want to pull your audience's attention to like the more grounded thing that's happening, you cannot ignore the big shit going on.
Yeah.
You have to flash to it. You have to go to it. You have to acknowledge it in contrast to the real grounded thing that you want your audience to really care about. You also have to do a really good job of setting up the grounded thing and make it, an accessible thing for audiences to grab onto, but let's ignore that, I guess. Principle of fucking writing in general. but I think it's incredibly poorly written. I think it's incredibly poorly edited. I think it's just incredibly poor overall. It just does not deliver on anything you would want from a Moon Knight show ground up. Suit looked cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What's funny is literally once you were done talking, I was gonna be like, "But that transformation, though, pretty fucking sick."
Also, Mr. Is it Mr. Knight when he's in the
Knight?
suit?
Yeah,
Mr. Knight. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I would
talking
say this,
hippo god. I mean,
what I would give it is it had 2 incredibly great episodes. Both of them didn't have Moon Knight in them.
And
I thought one of them is the ancestral
the Indiana
plane
Jones kind of episode, and then the other one was all in his head.
Yep.
the psych ward stuff, that was all directly from
Now that one does have Moon Knight at literally the last fucking moment.
Yeah.
But still, no Moon Knight in those episodes.
Yeah, I understand your hatred for it.
What about movie?
I don't even hate it. I'm incredibly fucking disappointed. Just incredibly disappointed.
And especially out of that list, out of all those, that's
my
bottom.
absolute bottom barrel. Movie, it's Quantumania.
Yeah.
Quantumania is such a fucking poor effort.
Yeah, I didn't really talk much about Quantumania just now, besides the fact that I said, but man,
I could see that.
It was CG slop. CG slop. They just why bring MODOK in, bro? If you're just gonna do that. If you're just gonna do that with him.
Half the characters that get introduced don't matter.
Yeah. And this whole I know Kevin Smith talked about this right after it came out, but the whole you're gonna make him Giant Man, but he's still microscopic. He's not Giant Man. He's still just a tiny little ant. There's a lot there. And don't throw me a fucking pity.
You've got
Bill
Lawrence.
Murray fucking cameo, thinking that's going to help. No, fuck you.
You've got Lawrence Fishburne, and actually, and a lot. I know most casuals don't fucking know this, but Giant Man is a big role from Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, he used to be so fucking important in the comics.
He used to be big.
He's what started. He's what started the Civil War. Like, because the Thor robot fucking kills Giant Man in the comics, and that's what ends up leading to the it's not the Sokovia Accords, but like whatever
the school is.
I can't remember
was the school whatever with the younger. Wasn't that? Well, I thought that's what kind of like popped.
Well,
off
it was twofold.
Fuck it. What's his name blowing up?
It was twofold. It was that and the New Mutants incident that happened. Yeah. But that's how they start the book off. Like the Giant Man stuff.
I don't remember that in the movie at all.
That road. I might be incorrect about this.
Is that like a pre-credits scene in the movie or what? I don't remember seeing that.
No, not in the episode. Oh my god. Fuck off.
All right, continue.
Anyways, but yeah, it's just poor executions all around again. And then
even the Paul Ruddness of it all can't save it.
This is supposed to be the movie that sets up like Kang is a bad motherfucker. Like, this is supposed to be the one that gets us to the next big bad.
Yeah. And he gets taken down by ants.
Him like fucking
he
crazy.
gets taken down by ants. And don't get me wrong.
I'm familiar with Kang too because of Loki season 1.
Yeah.
And
which did a great job. At, like,
and honestly, like all real life shit aside, dude, Jonathan Majors fucking slayed that role, even as King. That was like the only small little
controversies acknowledged.
100% acknowledged.
Piece of shit human being.
Yeah,
but
like
you did a great job.
But like the art aside from it, like that in a vacuum.
Well, and Kevin Spacey was a great Lex Luthor.
Dude, you know what I mean? Like 100%. There's so many people we could say this about.
We could do this all day.
But the switch up from He Who Remains to that version of Kang in that movie, dude, was like it just showed you like the range that he can do with those, and then not even counting going into season 2 of Loki and playing a whole different version of that character. He was probably one of the only shining lights in that whole movie was his performance. I can't really say much about anything else in that film.
No.
Not even, like I said, not even the rando fucking Bill Murray cameo.
Didn't care about the family dynamics that they really want you to give a shit about.
Nope.
Don't care about the quantum realm in that movie at all.
Don't care about how many fucking holes that guy has. I don't care. Like, none of it really, dude.
Yeah, it's just boring.
CG slop.
Boring and poor CG execution, poor everything.
Aside from the fact that, like, he gets small, goes and finds Kang, fucking ants kill and take him out. What happened in that movie? Nothing, really. Nothing in.
And I will say, I guess
it's very forgettable.
I will say,
I know it's an easy, like, we're beating the fuck out of this dead horse that's already been dead for a long time, but, like, God, like, if we're talking worse,
gonna say Quantumania, and then we're just gonna move on. But, like, I feel like an honorable mention is Love and Thunder. However, I do still enjoy that movie.
That's what I said. There's bits and pieces of that I do still
There's
really
a lot
enjoy.
of fun. And at the end, when it's what's the song that plays when all the kids like jump in? I love the kid.
Was it a Guns N' Roses song?
I think it's a Guns N' Roses
because that
song.
kid names himself Axel.
Yeah. That scene's really fun. And then there's also, she was in Star Wars when I was a kid. And
I love me some Natty Porty, bro.
I love me some Natalie Portman. And then you're like, oh,
and
now she's gonna be all buff and Thor. Like,
have you ever seen Closer, bro? Have you ever seen Closer? Because Natalie Portman at some point
you ever
in
seen
that
Black
movie
Swan?
plays a fucking stripper in that movie. Oof.
Black Swan's an incredible movie. Jokes aside.
Have you ever seen the SNL sketch where she raps?
No.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
What?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. But no, like the movie has a lot of like quality elements to it, but as a whole, as a structure, I don't defend it to people because
it's my second my second up from bottom.
Yeah,
I would say
it's got more than enough flaws. So I'm like, hey, if that's your least favorite, absolutely, I get it. I'll watch it again, but not religiously.
Being that we kind of talked earlier about Thor: Dark World, and after the fact getting into Thor comics and stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that the Love and Thunder story was supposed to take so heavily from
Dude, and it was
Jason
watered so down,
imagery,
watered down so
there
bad,
was
dude.
such great imagery
That's-
taken
yeah.
straight from the comics, but Gore the God Butcher was a force of fucking nature that was
Bro.
terrifying.
Here's the
Not
thing.
Gore the Kidnapper.
I wound up going and reading that run before that movie came out because I constantly heard through like comic book discussions and stuff how like badass Gore is, like how much of a fucking
I remember him talking about it when he was first
read it, bought it, read it, and then going into this be like, dude, Christian Bale of all people,
Dude,
Christian Bale.
Here's the thing. Before you
And
said
then it was what it was.
I forgot. Like, I'm not gonna say it fell out of my head and I didn't know anymore. But like in that whole of me talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, didn't think about Gore the God Butcher once.
Yeah,
Forgot
dude,
him.
because it kind of becomes forgettable.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's like we were saying, there's great parts on it, dude. Like honestly, the scene at the end when the color saturates out and shit, dude, like and it goes black and white, so sick. Like there's
I
little
love that
bits
when
and
they're
pieces.
on that moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
that's so cool.
There's bits and pieces of that movie that is fucking, dude, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. But then like. They're like, oh, people really enjoyed Ragnarok. They liked funny Thor. Let's amp that shit the fuck up.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
turn it to 11. You know what I mean?
The fucking love triangle shit with the hammer.
With the hammer, like,
there was so much.
Well,
Oh wow, that,
What-
that annoyed you.
well,
thought that was
what annoys me about that, honestly, yeah, it was funny.
I thought it was
But
funny.
you know what annoys me about that is the real life thing. Because Taika Waititi was going through a fucking 3-way relationship at the time and
I
wanted to
didn't
throw
know
his
that.
personal shit in this movie. Fuck you. It's like, as much as
No,
I love
No,
Sinners,
no.
as much as I love Sinners,
Here's the thing.
Ryan Coogler, I believe, just discovered how to eat pussy because he talks about it like 8 times in that
Here's the thing.
like it's
You put your personal life in the movies you make, and that's what makes them. That's part of
what makes
them
it personal.
quality-
That's
the
what
quality
makes it
movies
your
relatable for
signature.
the audience and stuff.
But
So
if
I
your
cannot-
signature is garbage, then you might need to rewrite it.
I'm just saying I can't get on that level with you because I'm like, no, that's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
Just take
he's
his
literally
personal
going
life.
through a love triangle
Yeah.
with the chick that plays Valkyrie and some other chick.
Yeah.
And then you want to throw your hammer in, bro? Stop. Just stop.
I didn't know all that though, but but no, yeah, Gore the
fact.
God Butcher, and Bale is giving it everything.
He is.
He is putting on a incredible performance. The problem is it's so distended in the actual film.
Yeah.
You're not sure. You don't have any of the real effort to care
Yeah.
about that, and he's putting on a fucking clinic,
Well,
and you just don't care.
now one of my other apprehensions from what I have seen is the reason that he appeared the way he did, because Gore is not just a pale bald man.
Sure,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, like I don't do that with MCU movies. Because
Oh,
they
yeah,
No, if
They
you're gonna go
really
whole
have
hog on
to-
half these characters, or
No,
more than half these
my
characters,
apprehension
give him
is
the
that
fucking tentacles. Take his fucking
He
nose
was
off.
against it.
Sure.
Yeah, because he's a diva. As much as I love him as an actor, Christian Bale's a diva.
He is a
Do we
diva.
not fucking forget the behind the scenes stuff of Terminator?
Oh, great! Now
Like-
I'm never gonna be able to work with Christian Bale. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I
guys.
love you, Christian.
God
we all
damn
went
it.
and watched The Bride. It was
But-
great.
Even beyond that,
Some of us.
take
I did
the
not,
looks
yeah.
of Gore the
I
God
wanted
Butcher
to.
out of
Me
it.
too. I even grabbed a
Yeah.
couple of their posters. One for you, and I forgot.
Thank you.
You've got the shitty writing for him.
Yeah.
They wrote
And honestly, that
character so
first
well.
scene,
Gore the
where he
Obscurities.
kills the first god, dude,
No.
like I see what they're going for there. He
should
was
have been
being mocked,
called-
blah, 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 but like,
He should have been called Gore the Off-Screen Butcher.
yeah, dude. I wanted to. God damn it, number 4. I wanted to see that scene from the comics, dude. When Thor's standing there and he sees, I can't remember what it is. It's this big giant beast, this
Yeah.
god. And
we get that
scene,
scene
but
in
you
the
don't
movie.
get that feeling. You don't get that. You don't get that like, holy shit, this guy's a motherfucking beast, dude. Like he's taking down gods. But all the gods we see in this movie are Russell Crowe's covered in fucking glitter and like, you know, these CG like half-ass messes. Like it doesn't have the same impact as what the comic run did.
Yeah.
And like it didn't feel as like serious.
The comic run was dark. It was serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there was real shit.
the problem there.
I feel like they try to implement too much comedy into a story that wasn't very comedic.
They were trying to do 3 different Thor stories
There you go.
at the same time while
There
also
you go.
turning them into comedies.
100%.
And that's a mess.
Yes.
That's just a mess. And look, if you wanted to hand us a 3.5-hour Thor movie where you made sense, fine.
You know what? I would
Sure,
rather
the
that
average guy
start
is not
happening.
gonna like that, but I would love it.
Yeah, no, your normal moviegoers would hate that shit. But
Yeah.
like honestly, I would much rather have that. Or you know what? Fuck it. Throw it into like a, you know, as much as I hate 2-parter movies, if it
makes
needs
sense and it makes
if you're
me
going to
care,
have like a Snyder cut type of length of a story of a film, break that bitch into 2 pieces. That's fine. Or miniseries. A limited series. Do a quick little limited series. I mean, Disney's doing all these like series and shit now. Yeah, it's Thor. He makes money, especially Ragnarok. Ragnarok made a lot of money. I can see studio wise kind of like why they went the direction they did.
yeah.
But you would think studio wise they would see patterns and things and be
Yeah.
like, well, if we try to too hard on this one thing, it's obvious. But
We got off on a bit of a tangent.
yeah,
We did.
fucking Thor.
Weakest series, weakest movie.
Weakest series for me. So if we're looking at the aspect of is it of something that I would probably not watch again, for me it's probably She-Hulk.
Really?
So I enjoyed it,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I mean, explain yourself, sir. I'm
So-
listening.
for me there were a lot of laughs. There was a lot of like some of the cool shit going on with you had Emil Blonsky, Abomination, like all that going on. But I don't know. For me, the ending kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
You know what?
I can
And
see
this
that.
is probably only helping your argument. Remind me how it. Oh,
So
The barbecue.
The Hulk
breaking of
fucking
the fourth wall thing with the
oh, you're talking about specifically that. I thought
oh no! I loved the
yeah, but the
fighting
whole
and
breaking
all
the
that.
fourth wall thing, dude, is She-Hulk's thing.
That's-
She's pre
before it was
and
Mark Wa- or-
dude, and the way
not
she
Mark
did it in the
Waid.
comics was literally like pulling pages and shit. Like she knew she was
Before
in a
Deadpool,
comic. And what
she was
better
doing
way
that.
of doing it when she's a show on streaming service than literally have her breaking through the streaming service.
to get
now
into
the
Marvel
whole
Studios to find Kevin.
the whole
Feige.
Kevin thing. I mean, I can even justify that, but okay, I can see somebody being like, "That's a little too much."
Right, I
Seeing actual
enjoyed
Kevin.
it, but I do. I guess I
but
do
especially
get
the
that,
whole
yeah.
literal breaking through and going through
That was fine.
the shows and stuff, I
But-
feel like was such a She-Hulk thing to do.
Yeah, like that part was fine, but like you said, like the Kevin thing, like breaking into the showrunner's room and like just it felt not forced, not dumb. That scene when they're in like shooting ideas and stuff like that, it just felt unnecessarily dumb.
I get it.
From what I remember, like the things that they were talking about and pitching and this and that, it's like, why the fuck are we like? Why the fuck is this a scene? But then also the barbecue scene.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see
barbecue scene
Daredevil
is
in daylight if it wasn't for She-Hulk.
I
And in the yellow.
I'm fine. I'm fine with him, like doing the walk of shame, all that.
Oh no!
But
I'm
no.
saying that genuinely. Like, we wouldn't
why
be seeing that.
is he at the barbecue? Why is Daredevil at the barbecue? Yeah,
Like,
that does
story-wise, I don't know. Why is Scar
She's
there?
bringing her fuck buddy to the
Hulk
barbecue.
did
Scar
some
or whatever the
stuff.
fuck
We
it
don't
is.
know. That's the thing.
Hulk shows up
It was supposed to
from-
set up some Hulk shit.
Yeah.
You mean
there
in
was
Young
never any
Avengers?
payoff for it.
In
And
Young
that's,
Avengers.
That we're all gonna see?
Because we've had the conversation about, when we find out a show's been canceled, it's hard to want to finish or watch that
Yeah.
first season.
That's why I never
Utopia.
watched.
Going out of fucking anything Marvel, Utopia.
That's why I never watched Deadpool
Watch
Class.
it. It's great.
And so it's kind of one of those. For me, it kind of shot itself in its foot there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so I personally have no reason to go back and watch that again. Now, I would go back and watch Moon Knight again.
However, I think you're judging it on an entire series with a storyline that almost has nothing to do with that barbecue scene and has almost has nothing to do with the Feige scene. The
Kevin
Feige scene.
yeah.
There is a bigger story at play here and character arc, and I think that's really the meat and potatoes of the show. I'll give you if that's like the weak landing for you, I totally understand that. But I feel like the series as a whole has a lot more to offer than that.
Well, because when we were watching it, I was enjoying watching it. You had the
and also Big Green Mommy.
Yeah.
I mean,
also Tatiana Maslany, hilarious human being.
Yes, she is.
Her like learning how to do this whole thing. Balance real life and being this incredibly strong green monstrosity.
I personally love like the kind of like the superhero, super powered like legal procedural part of it, dude. I want more of that. I was a little hoping we would get more of that in the show. Was a little more of court cases.
I think there was like cringing a little bit during the Titania scene when she broke into the courtroom. There was something about that scene that I'm like,
should have been more.
It
should have been more of a thing.
Quick,
yeah, it was almost like for what? Like why are you doing
they
it?
tussled a little bit and they were like, all right. Well,
also,
I think it was just like get two girls
from the
fight.
Good Place.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. She's funny as shit too.
She's good. I've only seen a few episodes, but it's a good show.
But overall, I mean, I've got to argue with you almost on everything on that, aside from the Kevin thing. The Kevin thing is I can see. I don't know, honestly,
I wouldn't fault anyone for that opinion, but I enjoyed it.
I did too, but I was gonna say honestly, I can see your point of view, but as somebody who literally watched that finale with a guy that I work construction with and stuff, who's getting into the MCU and stuff, he thought it was great. He loved it. He wasn't confused by it, nothing like that. He didn't think it was weird off that. But
oh yeah,
I also gave him.
Odell, are you better than the common working man?
Are you better than the average Joe?
Are you better than a blue collar worker?
When I started this, I said if we're going based off of ones that I probably won't watch again.
100%.
That's
100%.
That's fine. I'm just giving you shit, dude.
So, as far as like, if I had to pick the weakest show,
and honestly, the whole like
that's fair.
What is
that's
it?
fair. I can see it.
Like that incel Andrew Tate fucking Hulk guy from it. That was honestly my least favorite part of that
Would
show.
you watch Moon Knight again over She-Hulk?
I would probably go back and rewatch Moon Knight again to piece some of the things together that may have been missed as
like
the
maybe
story was
one
going.
more time to like, okay, is it that bad or is there something we missed or something?
And because
sure. Okay, I get
as
that.
it goes on, okay, this over here makes a little bit more sense knowing this and some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
as far as weakest show personally,
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably Falcon and Winter Soldier.
okay. Yeah. I still really enjoyed it, but
really up until that last episode, like the first couple episodes and the last episode were probably the most poignant episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
And you know what? A lot of that mid series thing is the Flag Smasher stuff. So if you cut out the Flag Smasher stuff,
oh god damn it, boys! We all forgot. And this probably has to take number one on the lowest of the shows, because literally I even gave you a number 2 on my lowest, and all of us forgot Secret Invasion.
Oh my God! No,
all of us. That's 100% the lowest. Everything about it, except for the fact that we find out that Nick Fury is clapping Skrull cheeks. Nothing about that show is worth a fuck.
But
yeah, I know all about that. Yep,
that has to win. That has to win.
Going to be a 2-hour episode.
It won. I was thinking 3.
But just in the interest of moving us along, because we're only halfway through this portion of the podcast. Where are we at? What's the time frame? And now keep in mind it's like 12 minutes of
editing out.
That's an hour 36.
Hour 36. Okay, 36. Yeah, we're about an hour and a half in. Oh God, Bob. All right, okay. Bob's peeing. I'm not letting him get away with this one.
Real quick. So as far as movie goes.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. You haven't given your lowest movie yet.
Obviously, again, we've all said Quantumania.
Mm-hmm. If you want to go yes, Quantumania is the worst, but I want to talk about this.
And we've also stated issues with like Love and Thunder and all that. But one that...
If you heard a toilet flush in the background, that was Bob's fault.
That was not me. That was my wife.
That
was all her. That was Brittany. Brittany, she did the most massive shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, one that we've kind of talked about.
I'll back him up on that unless she calls me out on it, and then I will fold.
Same.
No.
Spider-Man No Way Home sucks.
Really, the Eternals. Thinking about the Eternals, I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the movie. I think after watching it a second time, more than I did.
You watched it a second time.
But I think one of the biggest things, and we've had this discussion, it would have benefited by being a show.
It would have been an amazing series.
100%. They had way too many new characters.
It was supposed to be. It was originally conceptualized.
It was. You're right.
To be a movie, and that's my biggest apprehension with it is it should have been a show, because there were so many great little elements in here. But the whole cohesive story of it all just felt so rushed that we didn't get enough.
Yeah, I enjoy the movie more than what most of your general audience does. But 100%, what they did was they tried to do enough of each character to try to fit them all in this movie. What they did was wind up making none of them interesting, none of them memorable.
I don't know about that. Me personally,
Kingo is the only one, just because, and that's only for me. And that's only because he's referenced on a podcast I listen to all the time. So that's really one of the biggest reasons.
I think they did some characters fell short for sure, but I think they did a good job with the variety of the characters. And again, it would have benefited from being a series. I'll absolutely back that.
100%.
But I think as a movie, it's passable. It's not.
It's passable for sure, but it has such high potential. It has such high potential to be like a great series, a great couple of movies. But
the Black Knight, we're probably never gonna get a payoff on that.
Hey, but that's our first.
But that's only
appearance of Blade.
That's only because they can't fucking seem to make a Blade movie, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but
well, you said benefit of sinners.
Yeah. Possibly one of the best representations of a speedster.
That was a great speedster.
Oh yeah,
speedster.
Yeah, I've got to give you that.
I think that final battle was immaculate.
Dude,
I think that final battle was great.
Like I said, it's hard for me to kind of shit on it right now, but because it is one of my faves. I wouldn't say one of my faves, but I definitely enjoyed it, and that was one that I didn't watch during release. I didn't watch at the first opportunity I had. I put it off because of general consensus. And then I watched it, and I'm like, what was so bad about that?
Look, I mean,
that was a fun ride.
Removing Quantumania and Love and Thunder, I'd even put the fourth Captain America movie underneath that one.
Brave New World.
I can't say that because I didn't watch it.
Well, I would. I mean,
yeah,
I enjoy
agree
it.
with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there's a few. Honestly, it's at least like as
Now-
far as like worst, like bottom of the list goes, it's at least.
Now, let me
6 or
ask you,
7
as
up.
somebody who hasn't seen the movie but's definitely seen the trailers, is there anything that's super cool, super dope in that movie that you don't already kind of know in the trailer?
I really like the plot with the Thinker.
Yes.
I think
I dig the fact that they finally are paying off
I
the
think
Thinker
they've got
after all
a
these
good
years.
villain. I like
And that
the
actor
villain.
is fucking great.
I like
I'm
the
blanking on
stuff-
his name right now, dude, but I love that actor.
I like the stuff that they do with Ross.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's like some of these combat scenes
Yeah,
were like just the hand-to-hand combat stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Without a suit, without the wings and stuff.
they did really good action-wise with Anthony Mackie in that movie, but the place where it suffers the most is Anthony Mackie as a character.
Yeah.
Like there, because it's been referenced before on a million different things, but Falcon and Winter Soldier is I just said
Trash?
Anthony Mackie.
Oh,
and not Anthony Mackie, but
Sebastian Stan?
No, what's his character's name?
Falcon?
Oh,
Not Falcon.
uh,
God, that was
Talk about
almost
his name? His,
the character's name.
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson. Yes,
yes.
God. Okay. Sam Wilson in Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like, I don't know if I deserve to be Captain America. Fair enough. Actually, a very compelling story, but you already did it.
Yeah.
You did it in the series. Why are we doing it in the movie?
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the biggest reasons that I was like, man, like, are we just gonna rehash the same shit? Because like that was that's what his personal storyline was throughout the whole show.
All of a sudden, Bucky's a senator.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
kind of stuff
yeah.
in that movie.
And like the scenes at the end.
Well, I leaned into you and I was like, those are the ones they reshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally during the showing
Yeah.
in the theater, like there was a tone shift, there was a color shift, like
The background
there
was
Yeah.
perfectly
quality shift.
like very specifically blurred. Like
Yeah.
it was obvious. I was
It
like,
was.
this
Blurred
was
in
all-
all the right
I was
places,
like,
baby.
and the fucked up thing about that is like they didn't have to do it in front of a green screen. Why don't you just fire up the what is it they call it? Not the vault.
The
Time machine.
no, hold on, you're really close though. The volume.
The volume. Yeah. Why didn't they fire up the volume for those reshoots?
I mean,
It seems
Mando
like they
season
didn't-
1
I don't know.
looked great.
Yeah.
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 I honestly,
I can't get on board with your Eternals.
but I can see it. I can understand after the other choices have been taken. Eternals being the next one.
No, still, I think there's still
Okay.
so much more in front.
Okay,
of
then real
Eternals.
quick, without getting too deep into it, what's your runner-up on movies? If it's not Eternals, after Love and
If-
Thunder, after
Love and Thunder,
Quantumania.
it's Brave New World for sure.
Okay, well I
Third lowest one.
can't talk about
Yeah.
that because I haven't seen it.
It's definitely Brave New
That's
World.
probably the reason I ain't seen it.
I'd say check it out.
I'm going to.
It's-
I 100% am going to.
But okay.
Are we
But,
talking?
I mean, fair enough.
Are we
If that
talking
is- if that
faves
is number
now?
3 for you.
Are we talking
We are
faves
talking,
now?
We are talking. Yeah, we're
Okay.
on the other side of the street.
Well, I will start with movie for no. I'll start with show first.
Yeah, let's just keep it uniform.
Let's keep it
yeah.
the same. I'll start with show first. I'm gonna have to go personally with what I could probably go back and rewatch again, and I enjoyed greatly the first time around, and it ignited me wanting to do a new cosplay. Loki season motherfucking 1, dude. Loki season 1 was great. Seeing where the Loki, the alternate timeline Loki from Endgame, where he wind up, like where he ended up, like where we've been wondering
Yeah,
for
because
years.
that's the thing you gotta recognize is that Loki is a very specific.
That's not the Loki we know. That's a Loki that his
Casual audiences could lose that, I
storyline
guess
is
it don't
up
matter.
to the Avengers.
But I think that's...
Remember how he was in the Avengers.
I think that's a good thing to point out about that series is that
because that can also be him being that specific character and becoming who the character he becomes even by the end of season 1. You can also argue on a fault, because you can also say like, oh, he just sat and watched a few videos, and now we're gonna think that this version of Loki is up to par with the Loki that sacrificed himself.
Well, no, that's not necessarily what I was going to say. What I was going to say is that, like, even though it's so specific and, like, if you want to dig into it, it's, you know, a lot for the casual viewer to actually think about. It removes the necessity to think about it.
It
doesn't matter what.
Because number one, it does kind of explain to you right off rip, right at the beginning.
This is where he comes
from. Even though going by box office numbers, all of you have watched this movie.
Yeah.
Let me real quick explain who this Loki is.
Even if none of that catches you, it doesn't matter, because by second episode you're going to be hooked anyway.
Dude, so I mean the visual aesthetics, the acting, throwing fucking Owen Wilson in the MCU was probably like one of their better choices.
Such a smart idea.
Throwing Tara Strong into the MCU as like, and obviously even though we would all love to see her physically, she's a great physical actor. Her voice acting is what she's known for, and like if you're gonna have one animated character in this whole show that you want a voice for, you're going to have
DC legend,
dude. That is just a voice actor legend. Powerpuff Girls, so the whole nine.
Oh yeah.
So all those aside, dude, the variant Lokis is such a open universe for cosplay that my boy sitting right across the table I helped him create one of my favorite cosplays I've ever had a hand in, and that is the depressed Thor from Endgame, but what if his role was reversed with Loki? And dude, it was great. And I wanted so bad for us to just do all these different variants
of Loki. That's your best cosplay.
Dude, that's one of my all-time favorites of yours, dude.
That was fun.
It was fucking... Dude, your idea of that, dude, I was like, oh my God, that is the... I'm surprised no one else has done this yet. This is perfect.
I hadn't seen
And dude, the execution of it was... great, dude. We found every single item and found it in Loki colors. So aside from, dude, everything about that series, dude, I went back and I've rewatched it. Honestly, probably my number one that I rewatched, and I can only say this because literally after the new episode aired, I've rewatched it at least once or twice after the fact, was definitely WandaVision. But WandaVision is kind of your go-to, but like my most enjoyable, the one that like I feel like all in all, with everything, like I said, like cosplay, rewatchability, acting, aesthetic, the whole fucking nine, the storyline, everything about it, dude. Loki season 1, hands down, has to be one of my all-time favorite pieces of Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, releases, period.
That's fair. I would add on to that. You cannot separate season 1 and season 2.
No, you can't. But if I'm going with seasons,
and on top of that, they're so important to what's coming. I think they are.
I think they're integral. Yes, I was actually going to mention that earlier, but I didn't want to jump too far ahead in our timeline of the MCU.
There's so
when
many
you were talking about going through your rewatch,
but.
Your rewatch season 1 and 2 needs to be in there. Maybe even throw in a Deadpool and Wolverine just because it ties a little bit into it. No, that's if you want to.
Yeah. But it is integral. Movie.
Okay. I had.
Tough one.
You know what? My immediate choice was going to be Guardians 3, but I'm gonna let one of you boys talk about it because I feel like that might have been on one of your guys' list too. I'm personally going to go with, it might not be my favorite all time, it might not even necessarily, even though I want to rewatch it, it might not even be necessarily the one I'd rewatch the most. But boys, I had the most fun by myself in a theater, midday. Long story short, I had a whole other thing I had to do that day. It got canceled. I was stranded without a vehicle. I had nothing to do. I was right by a theater. I went and watched The Marvels. I think it was like a day or so after release day. I had such a great time with that. After enjoying Ms. Marvel, as a show, which that was really, I didn't want to put that as my favorite because it's not my favorite, but I enjoyed Ms. Marvel so much because, like She-Hulk, it was perfect for that character. It was perfect for that character and the audience for that character. There were some bits of Ms. Marvel that, like, in the show aspect that, like, it was a little slow, it was a little, but, like, I love the character and I love how passionate the actress is about the character. And for me, that translates onto screen.
To the point she ended up writing a comic.
Yeah, dude, and she deserves it, dude. That woman has so much knowledge, not just on, like, the basic Marvel lore, but the MCU lore, dude. She can school Kevin Feige on things.
Yeah.
But in seeing the team up of, and a lot of people gave Captain Marvel, gave Brie Larson shit, online and stuff.
Fun fact, so far that is my partner's favorite movie is Captain Marvel.
I love Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel. Okay, that is okay. But having Ms. Marvel, having Monica Rambeau, after seeing her, like, develop these powers and stuff throughout WandaVision, just a rando C-type character,
but also
in my
the fact
aspect.
that their powers are malfunctioning.
And they all, that's exactly. I would say all their powers are kind of weirdly crossing over with each other and stuff. Seeing this weird dynamic between, like, a fangirl for, like, her number one fucking like idol.
We get to know more about what Captain Marvel was up to in the universe since the 90s. Yeah.
And you get to see Monica Rambeau, Proton, kind of, like, get a little bit more to do,
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, even, like, the musical planet, the visuals of that one, kind of the same thing with Loki, like I feel like every aspect of what that movie was shooting for, nailed it.
I feel like there's one place where it falls short. Is because one of the biggest emotional cores of that movie is that Captain Marvel left in the 90s. And
in the 90s.
Monica Rambeau in the 90s.
90s.
And then Monica Rambeau grew up and had to suffer through losing her mother to cancer.
Yeah.
And just not knowing where this ultra powerful protector was when all these traumatic things went down, from the Chitauri invasion to Thanos and everything, until it was like the last minute, and then the blip happens. She leaves, comes back 5 years later. That character has a lot of trauma, and a lot of it is focused around Carol Danvers, and they really just do not do a great job of focusing in on that, of giving that its due. They have their moments. It acknowledges it, but it doesn't give it its proper breath.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I feel like that's where it falls short for a lot of people. But I agree, it was a fun movie. It
was a wildly fun movie, especially like.
I don't feel like it deserves
it was really before I got a much of, like, an outside input and influence on it. And I was already expecting to, like, anything I hear online and stuff was like, well, I seen how Captain Marvel went, So I kind of know what to expect on some of these reviews. Dude, honestly, one of the ones that I really wanted to say, but I wanted to give the Marvels some credit, some props here, but one that is right up there with one that I just really fucking enjoyed, and I'm definitely going to do rewatches on, was Thunderbolts, dude. Thunderbolts I enjoyed so much.
Such a good movie.
But
the villain is depression.
Yeah. The big sad.
I just hit my mic.
It's all right.
Saw the spike button come up.
You can't catch up with me. I'm on 5.
It was I hit it with my pants. Viewers on Patreon will know.
But I don't want to dive into that in case that's on one of your guys' lists. Right. So, Vin, what is your show? Top show.
Funny enough, if, like, removing Loki.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you pretty thoroughly covered it, and I think, like, regardless of whether it's any of our favorites, I think it is the best one.
Okay.
Like, it's best written, it's most functional, it's just the best acted. It's
the one you're about to say, or Loki?
No, Loki.
I
think it is overall the best show, regardless of favorites.
Yeah.
But for me, Miss Marvel is maybe my favorite.
Dude, yes.
I love the respect it pays to her culture. I love the time it decides to focus on that. She is just probably one of the best MCU actors, just like as far as embodying the character. She's right up there with
best
Robert
for
Downey
her,
Jr.
dude.
as Tony Stark. And he reinvented the character. Yeah. He made Tony Stark
She is
something
insanely passionate about it.
She is. Like, she cares so deeply the character. And the character is so enthusiastic about what she's doing. Like, she is her. Yeah. Kamala
she's Ryan Reynolds Deadpool 1. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you couldn't get it any more
If we're talking about, like, a Mount Rushmore of this actor is this character. It is
superhero
Robert Downey
version.
Jr. Robert Downey, in the MCU at least. Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Reynolds,
what is her name?
Iman Vellani, and I just had it. I literally
What
just
character?
had it.
What character?
Now I'm losing it.
What character?
No, I'm losing that.
What character?
What character was it? I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares?
Shang-Chi?
No. No, it was not.
Seemingly you really wanted that fucking role.
Charlie Cox?
Not Charlie Cox.
I love Charlie Cox as fucking Daredevil, as Matt Murdock, though.
But no, getting away from my brain not fucking functioning.
It'll pop in.
It will. I'll say it in the
In his defense, it's like almost 2:30, and he's consumed some alcohol.
I've consumed some alcohol and watched mummies play jazz at me.
Pants.
Anyways, no, it's. I think Miss Marvel was the most fun show. The show I had the most fun watching.
Yeah,
and it had a lot of emotionality to it too. I don't
and
think.
Speaking of Shang-Chi, ties into the 10 Rings.
That it does. Yeah. It has a functionality. It is also the first mention of mutants.
Yes, it is
in the MCU,
and you get that little guitar riff.
Yeah, it is. Just overall, I think one of the best times I've had watching a Marvel series. The runner-up would maybe be Daredevil Born Again. Season 2 just started. We haven't we barely started that, but season 1, so good. And then once again acknowledging this is what the Punisher thinks about what these fuckers think.
Oh
the
my
Punisher
God!
is.
Thank you. Yes.
For the 8th time now, he's got to fucking repeat himself. But I guess TV is a new medium, so for this, so let's go ahead and do that.
Cover all bases.
If for nothing else, John Barenthal's Punisher confronting what police think the Punisher is.
Yeah.
Fucking that makes a top tier show alone.
I'd watch 8 seasons of that.
That's the runner up. But as far as fun goes, Miss Marvel.
Right up there.
Yeah, Guardians feels like the easy answer. I want to say No Way Home is also a huge one. Yeah. Because that was very special because it took Vin to go see it.
And it was an event type of movie as well.
And it is an event type of movie that is just for even if you hated the MCU but you love the Andrew Garfield movies.
It was for specifically, I feel, for people of our ages.
People of our age. Well, not just ours. Like I was gonna say, this was a special moment for me and my son because his favorite movies of all time have been the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
And where did he watch those movies at,
He
Ben?
watched those in his bedroom since the very beginning, since I bought them on DVD.
Who introduced him? You. What I'm saying is, we are the generation that got to experience Tobey Maguire for the first time in theater, and then eventually Andrew Garfield, then eventually Tom Holland. We are the generation that got that.
They did those re-releases, and schedule-wise, my son is now 20 years old. For old listeners of the podcast, he's going to be 21 this year. But they did the re-releases this past year of 2025 of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. We got to go watch Spider-Man 2 together for the first time for both of us in the theater. Yeah, it's a cool moment. High fives all around. But yeah, thank you.
Had to complete the circuit.
But yeah, no, I mean you're right. Yeah, but I mean, still all the same. But
100%, yeah.
That makes that movie such a special moment in a variety of ways. So these are the first two that popped to mind, but if I'm like really getting into the nitty gritty, what was the best? What was the
what
best?
was your most enjoyable?
What was the best execution? And what was the one I enjoyed the most? I think Guardians 3.
Yeah.
I think it really is. That is a top tier. Thunderbolts is a big next. Fantastic Four was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Give me.
I
pull
think
up that list
Thunderbolts
again
3,
if you don't mind.
or not Thunderbolts.
I'm just
3.
curious on what other movies we had in this era. Multiverse of Madness, real quick. You know what? I'm gonna wait until Odo's done with his, and if there's one that we don't mention that we do kind of want to touch on real quick, we can.
I think Guardians 3 has the most heart-wrenching story. I think it is also the perfect cap to this trilogy plus one, because you got the holiday.
I'm sorry.
Cap's always there in spirit.
Oh, in our hearts.
In our hearts.
The real
every
Caps
time
are the
I watch
friends
a
we
movie,
made
I
along
think
the way.
about Captain America. So, and that's any movie. But yeah, no, I think it's got the most heart. It is a great, like, it closes out the trilogy. That is the best series of movies in the MCU, I think, as far as, like, if you have to, because, like, okay.
If you're stuck strictly to, like, you have to watch, if you're watching movies that these characters are in, and, like, this is their story, Guardians 100% from beginning to end is such a great complete story.
Through, because Captain America, you've got a lot of like it starts out great and then it gets pretty fucking rocky.
Guardians, you have those three movies. You have
Iron Man, like
you have those three movies. You have the Avengers movies that they tie into Infinity War, Endgame, and then you have the holiday special. Combine all of their stuff and Love and Thunder. You throw all of that into one supercut, dude. That's a good story still.
Yeah, it's kind of seamless. So I think Guardians 3 stands above Post-Endgame. Probably the best thing.
I have nothing to say opposing that whatsoever. Because like I said, that would have been my number one choice. But that, like I said, that was an easy choice. So I wanted to give props to a movie that that I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah. But like none of us probably would have like chose as our number one, but it was definitely like pretty fucking high for me.
Yeah, if I have to go aside from that, it's probably No Way Home.
Okay, yeah. No Way Home. I said, I mean, event movie. I mean,
it kind of fucks with the whole multiverse thing in a way that doesn't really work with what else has been set up, but regardless,
we're lucky it works as well as it does.
Regardless, honestly. It does work. At least contained within the movie, and I think it's.
It was a lot easier when they had one studio and one, maybe two movies a year. And now they have Marvel, they have Sony, they have multiple movies plus shows plus video games.
When I see the moment where Andrew Garfield saves MJ in just a reel. I just see it in a reel. I
still get to every time, dude. And any kind of just like, dude, the small talk between Andrew Garfield and Toby in there about like the back, when he adjusts his back for him and stuff like that. Just the little dude. I could watch hours of the behind the scenes shit of them hanging
not
out.
Not to talk down about himself.
Yeah,
like lifting him up and all
because he's the Spider-Man out of the three of them that has been shit on the most.
And then
fucking talk down
when they reveal themselves,
he's a good Spider-Man.
When they reveal themselves to Tom Holland Spider-Man for the first time, they have those talks about Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
so good. I mean,
and I love the Uncle Ben in the MCU. That is just a suitcase.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
The moment where Toby gets in front of the fucking glider, like stops
the glider, dude.
He's just like, this ain't gonna happen. Look at me.
Yeah.
Like without saying
I will stop
without saying it, he's like, look at me. You don't want to do this. Without saying it. And it's all happening on screen. And you know it, you feel it, you hear it, you think it. Yeah.
He's literally just with his eyes saying like, I get it, I know it, I've been here.
So if I'm going outside of Guardians 3, it's No Way Home for sure.
Good choices.
Odell, TV series?
Series for me is probably WandaVision.
Yes.
Yes,
of course.
Absolutely. Especially the first half. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid growing up, I loved I Love Lucy. You know, some of these old classic shows.
I think we all grew
Nick
up
at Night,
TV
dude.
Land.
The old Nick at Night.
Nick at Night and TV Land. These were essentials.
Those old black and white shows and like how it truly embodied that feel.
TV Land is how I started watching Sanford and Son, which I fucking love. Sorry, I'm now 2 whiskeys deep on this podcast.
But you have all of these aspects that it's okay. I'm used to you interrupting me on the podcast. You have all of these aspects that you're going through the ages because it ties into what her and her brother grew up on and what they watched as a family growing up, and so she's going through these, building her ideal life based off of what she remembers. Because she's been through such tragedy, and then to see it all kind of start to melt and flip around, and some of the coping mechanisms.
Yeah, watching all of those walls fall.
Yes,
is a really great.
Everything kind of starts to crumble, and then it just kind of explodes, and then goes kind of into the multiverse of madness and all that going on. Mm-hmm. But for me, that was a very driven, well-written, emotional story through and through.
Yeah, and even though it was all externalized, literally, she literally created this whole world. You're able to watch her internal struggle, her trauma, and her going through a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She lost her lover. She lost the person she loved. She lost this future that she envisioned, this possible future with kids and a family, and it's honestly, and it's not given this as much as it should, but dude, it's probably one of the saddest stories in all of the MCU. Period.
You guys got me rethinking Miss Marvel.
What is grief but love persevering, dude? Is one of it's giving me chills now. It's one of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard in my life, dude.
That is great.
And it is there was so much emotion tied to that show.
You know what? I think
then on top of that,
to WandaVision.
I mean, we all think WandaVision #1 is probably our top favorite show. We didn't choose it because it was one of us had to choose it, dude. Yeah. But
I mean, don't get me wrong, Miss Marvel deserves the mention.
Yes, Loki deserves a mention, but all of these started with WandaVision. And aside from Far From Home, dude, WandaVision was our first taste of the MCU beyond Endgame. Yeah. And it was our first show. It was I remember watching the first episode in my kitchen in the black and white. Britt was super interested in it because it was a new, weirdly different thing that was but it weirdly fit. But there was a mystery the whole time. Fucking, is Mephisto going to show up? Thanks, new rock stars. But dude, and
then he finally does, and we'll never.
And no one gives a fuck. But there was a magic, so to speak. I know we're talking about witches, but there's a magic to WandaVision that I don't think there is any world where they could recapture that. It was a once in a lifetime thing. We were in a pandemic. This was the first, aside from Spider-Man, which we already knew was coming after Endgame anyway. This is our first thing that we actually got to get after Endgame, and it was our first series. And we were dealing with the storyline that we thought was going to wind up leading to a House of M type of thing. You know what I mean? A reverse No More Mutants. So there was a lot tied to the show that we were anticipating. That week to week, it was a fucking event. At least for me personally, dude. I was looking.
Knew what you were
Wednesday.
About to get. Yeah.
I was looking forward to Wednesday because if you remember, Wednesdays when they released every Wednesday, dude. I remember one day I had a rain day. If anybody doesn't know, I do concrete, so whenever the weather gets crazy, I have the day off. So I had the day off on a Wednesday, and I got to watch the 2000s episode, the one that's kind of like a Modern Family and shit. I watched that 3 times in a row. Literally, as soon as I got done with it, restarted it, watched it, paused it for a little bit, watched the new Rockstars video on it and shit. And then after catching some of the Easter eggs, went back and watched it for the third time. Now, actually, I'm gonna let you continue. This is your time. Go ahead.
Like,
oh, it's gonna be a 2.5 hour, 3 hour episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's already at like 2:10 right now.
We've still got a third pillar to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to bed. But on top of all that, you know, the grief aspects really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. You know, and
Evan Peters coming back as Quicksilver in a weirdly different way.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah,
just as kind of
Elizabeth,
talking the situation out.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Olsen as an actor is just she's such a force.
Yes,
she's so good.
And then later on in the series, like not only is she dealing with the grief of losing vision, but then later on, she loses her kids,
her children. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, in this world that she built, which is being torn down.
And because I know Multiverse of Madness is not going to be your favorite movie, let's just fast forward into Multiverse of Madness off of that. If you've seen WandaVision, you will already have everything you need going into Multiverse of Madness.
I think Multiverse of Madness, it should really tie. You know, that is your end to WandaVision.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's inappropriately titled. I will say that. That's the biggest flaw in the movie, is that it's titled this, so you expect this, but what it wants to do and what it does do is incredibly effective.
Yeah.
So like everything outside of the packaging it works.
Yeah.
And I that is absolutely one that will be on my rewatch list. And you have a villain who is a huge fucking threat. You have a hero who should be a bigger threat but wasn't prepared for this kind of thing. And I think it's a fantastic film and a great cap to that series.
Yeah.
And speaking of that series isn't technically over. We've had one more season of a thing, and then we have another one coming.
Agatha all along.
That's what I was getting to. Agatha came out in October, if you remember.
Yep.
So it was prime time of the year. I think we all collectively love some fucking why am I blanking on her name? Catherine Hahn. Yes, thank you. Dude, I loved Agatha. So Agatha was great, especially in that time of the year. It gave a great vibe. It was a different show than WandaVision.
They introduced Death.
Death
better than Aubrey
my God, Aubrey Plaza, dude, and I'm sorry not to get all goony and shit here, but like Catherine, just the thought of Catherine Hahn's character.
Please hold for Bob's Goon session.
This is our goon moment. This is our goon minute.
This is the
goon corner. This is Goon Corner. Goon Alley.
Cue the graphic.
Goon Alley. It's a lot like Crime Alley, but your parents they're not going to lose their pearls. They're going to get covered in pearls. You know what I mean? So, just the thought of Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza as Death and Agatha being in a relationship, dude. I was like, oh my God, I want a whole season of that. Yeah, it sounds very goony, but like, dude, I legitimately want to see the story of Death and Agatha having this relationship.
Cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
cool.
I kind of want to see this.
God,
what is her name? The older woman that's in that show. She's in so much stuff, dude, but she's such a great actress. Dude, the visuals in that show, everything about that. The walking down the witch's road and shit, like going through all these.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of it was like, for the most part, it was just bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
the whole premise of this whole show,
yeah,
but the whole point of the show was to introduce Billy. Was to give us Billy. And the fact that we realize who Billy is, dude, and
set up
and to do this weird meta thing where the second you realize who he is, bro, and this crown's forming, they play Billie Eilish's You Should See Me in a Crown, which is a hard-ass song to begin with, dude. Like, God, bro. Like, I remember seeing that scene and that fucking episode ending when You Should See Me in a Crown comes on and, bro, that shit forms. And I'm like, bro, we all knew who he was going to be.
Yeah.
But actually see it materialize, like, fuck
and then the whole mystery of where is his brother.
Where is his brother?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. The WandaVision saga is what I'm going to start calling it.
Vision
have Vision Quest coming out.
Which we will get to. In fact,
yes,
before
that is
you finish, do you want to go ahead and look up what's supposed to be coming?
Before he finishes, he still needs to give us his movie.
He does need to give us his movie. Yeah.
So as far as movies, it's kind of twofold. One, for me, that I was super excited that we got, and I think everyone enjoyed, was Shang-Chi.
Yeah, dude, I did.
It opened up that
and seeing Liu really campaigning for that role ahead of time on Twitter, dude, and landing it, bro, was kind of like a Robert Downey Jr.
He was a marketing force onto himself. Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy wants this shit, dude.
Yes.
He's gonna be good for it, or Ms. Marvel type of shit, Deadpool, 100%.
And it was such an enjoyable movie for me from start to finish because again, like all the old kung fu shit.
Yeah,
dude, always
fantastic.
Well, and then it's also got the father-son,
dude. And we get Trevor back for one of his first appearances in the MCU. After
you tell me at this point, you tell me Ben Kingsley is in this MCU property. It's golden for me. Which honorable mention on series, Wonder Man.
Which I didn't pick Wonder Man.
Because it's still fresh. It hasn't settled.
Yeah. And I have yet to see it, but it's definitely one of those ones that I'm planning on watching before Ironheart. I'm planning on watching before Brave New World.
Absolutely.
I think those are the three, aside from things like
I
Marvel
would say
Zombies.
Wonder Man up that list.
Yeah.
100%. So where are we going?
Shang-Chi, I would say, is probably like my next to top. But Thunderbolts. Man, like going in and just every aspect of that movie.
Florence Pugh, bro, give me Florence Pugh in anything, bro, and I'm here for it.
That woman will break your heart if you have an opportunity.
And not just
Midsummer.
her.
That's where I first witnessed her, dude, and she broke my heart immediately.
Some of the scenes with U.S. Agent.
Dude, Paul, what's his name? I keep on calling him Paul Walker. What's his name? Something about Kurt Russell's kid. You know him.
Yeah. but there were scenes with him, and showing some of that.
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt, thank you.
Yeah.
That deep seated guilt and everything that's built
and still wanting to prove himself and still wanting to get back there.
And
having something on the line because at this point he has a wife and child.
He has a kid.
There's so many great little things that it touches on with each person, and the villain. Like we made the comment that the villain is depression.
He has a fucking great name though.
Really
great name. I've got to admit that man's got a beautiful name. Bob.
Yeah.
Sure.
That.
But the actual personified villain with Sentry and the Void.
Dude. Dude, and that visual, god damn the visual when the Void just poofs motherfuckers out of existence. God damn, that motherfucker's terrifying.
Yes.
Terrifying,
and
dude.
We've had this conversation before. The Sentry is one of the most powerful beings in the world.
Dude. And I'm not super knowledgeable on him and shit, but I've definitely done a rundown videos and shit. And I love the idea of him being retconned into the past of all these different events throughout Marvel comic history. I love the idea of Sentry. So having him in the MCU is such a good And
he's so threatening on two fronts because you have the physical threat, which is the ultra powerful Superman
aspect
version of him. And then you have the ethereal threat of him as the Void, which
just
is
shadowing your ass out there.
Punch away.
He's a double threat.
He's a double threat and a huge one on both fronts.
And also,
Thunderbolts is
not the only nepo baby in the movie.
Nope.
But
I do love that scene, and this is another one when it pops up in my feed. It makes me tear up of Florence Pugh like pouring her heart out to Red Guardian like, about being so alone.
God.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, have you guys seen real quick on the Marvel social media sites? They've done a super cut of all these different like quick speeches of different Marvel characters talking about being alone. I'm like, God damn it, guys! Like, I've been on my meds for a couple of days. I can't take this shit.
I sent you guys a couple of those.
Yeah. I ran across them in the wild.
I opened it up and I was like, whatever. Yeah, I can't watch that. Right.
Before we continue, do you have much more? Do you have anything else you guys want to talk about this movie? Because I have a quick question before we go into the next tier of this.
Well, I think Odell needs to bring up, or do you already have it up there, of what's supposed to be coming?
Coming shows or movies?
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
So, upcoming movies, obviously.
Whoa. We don't have to go into it now. We can let Bob do his thing. I just wanted to
what
give
I was
you
gonna,
time if you needed it. Yeah.
I just had two quick, like, we don't have to go in detail because our runtime will go much further. But just a quick answer. We don't have to explain. Of the random animated stuff that's not necessarily tied to the MCU, like a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, stuff like that. Is there any of those that you guys have been... X-Men 97, any of those? What of those have you guys been intrigued by? Me personally, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was a fantastic season.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is the best of all of them, in my opinion.
Like, X-Men 97 was a great watch.
See,
I love the slightly updated version of this 97 universe they got.
We decided to start watching during our streaming nights. For those who don't know, Bob moved out of the area code, so Odell and I have a weekly streaming night that we do, and we had started the original X-Men series to kind of get
up to 97.
The problem is we also have so many other things on the docket that
come out, especially
is literally now the filler thing, like, and it rarely comes up. So we never even got close to X-Men 97.
So you know how I was talking about you know how I was talking about how one of my favorite lines in general, dude, is the what is grief but love persevering line. There's one that Nightwing says to Gambit.
Nightwing?
Or not, wait, no, I'm sorry. Nightcrawler says
says
to Gambit in X-Men 97. I'm not going to even say it and everything like that, but like it's one of those lines. It's like, fuck, dude, that is a quotable
we've enjoyed. There's sometimes we clown on the show. There's sometimes we clown on the show, but we've enjoyed the X-Men one. I know myself, I have not watched Marvel Zombies at all.
I haven't either.
No interest, honestly.
The What If series, real quick, while we're talking about cartoons and stuff, like all this animated stuff, the episode of What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, dude, is still one of my all-time favorite pieces of media, period. It gets me in my feels, dude.
Which season was that in?
Is that season 2?
That's season 1, I think episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember that one. Because we watched... Well, no, okay, so they're in season 3 of What If, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know we haven't watched... We watched a few episodes of season 3 of What If. But I lost interest. I was like, this doesn't matter? The animated stuff has really gotten away from me. Because I know it's not detrimental. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I think, was the only thing recently I cared to actually watch.
Yeah.
And the execution of it was great.
Oh, so good. So good.
But What If, I want to say, I thought there's only two seasons of What If. Is there 3?
No, there's 3. There's definitely, yeah.
Okay, yep, you're right. Never mind,
Have not finished season 3, have not.
They're all
Marvel
good.
Zombies.
They obviously have their
I'm sure
weaker
they are. We
and stronger
watched
ones.
Eyes of Wakanda, and I think that's what did it.
Which one's Eyes of Wakanda?
that is a variety of stories throughout Wakanda history based around.
Oh my god, I've never watched it. Is that out?
Mark Bernard. Oh yeah, it's been out.
Oh my god, I haven't watched that either then. And I also have not watched Marvel's Zombies.
It was good. It was good, but it was one of those things that it's like after we were done, I was like, I don't feel like we had to watch that.
No, it's like a fun filler.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm like not watching Zombies or season 3 of What If. You know.
What about you, Odell? On like the animated, the stuff that's not like fully connected to the MCU that's come out Marvel wise. What's one of your faves? You think?
Friendly Neighborhood is probably.
Dude, I think it's unanimous, dude. Everything about it. I'm so ready for a season 2. I love the story, love the voice acting. I love the rando, not necessarily Spider-Man characters popping in here and there. Coleman Domingo, I know we mentioned him earlier about being recast as Kang, but him as a person of color, Norman Osborn, where finally the waves make sense on Norman Osborn. The fucking waves he's had forever finally makes sense.
The jock kid who joins the Tombstone gang, that's Eddie Brock, right? Who is that? I can't remember the character's
honestly, by this point, it definitely was
kid
not.
That Peter is helping with his homework, but then he starts.
That's who becomes Tombstone.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Tombstone.
That's right. It's not, he doesn't join Tombstone's game, but he is.
He
Tombstone.
is Tombstone.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Which ironically, the new Spider-Man, I guess,
I like.
is gonna have Tombstone in it too.
I asked that question to say that I really like that element of the story.
Yeah.
I like that. I guess somewhat of a side story, somewhat
and it gives us that look into, because I never really looked into much of Tombstone.
And aside from like little bits in like the Spider-Man games, stuff
because
but what
Tombstone's
for me personally, what
is...
intrigues me about it is the fact that like this is going to be a big villain coming up for him, but he's also his age. He also goes to his high school. This isn't an adult. This isn't a professor, a scientist.
Because Tombstone doesn't have much.
Nothing. He's a classmate.
Yeah.
Tombstone doesn't have much in the way of. Like, this is the emotional story behind Tombstone.
No.
And this is one of the first iterations of that, and it's very intriguing.
Yeah, where you can like not necessarily agree, and I talk about this a lot. Like, I mean, you guys know I consume a lot of true crime stuff. So like, there's a lot of times I'm listening to something and be like, I don't understand how this person can do that, but I can see the road that led them there. So it's like, even though you don't necessarily agree with some of the actions that the character that becomes Tombstone does, you can see the road that leads him there. You see the situation, his environment, his upbringing, the things that he can't control that gets him to that point. Another very quick question before we continue on.
I was literally real quick. Transition us.
Favorite character post-Endgame. You don't have to go into explanation. Favorite character? Odell, go. Red Guardian for me. I love Red Guardian. I love David Harbour. Him being the dad Russian guy, dude.
I think maybe
he's a fun character.
Maybe Yelena Bolanova.
Yeah.
Fantastic choice.
Yeah.
You know what? Another show that
or Miss Marvel.
Forgot about was Hawkeye.
Dude, yes, goddamn, I loved Hawkeye. That was a sleeper. Yes.
Without like derailing and everything again.
Great show.
Her character.
Oh, Kate
Bishop.
Bishop.
Like
great addition, and another instance in which we get Yelena Bolanova.
Yeah, and you get to see her during the snap. You get more of the snap there too. That's another thing that we didn't really touch into. In all these various properties, sometimes you get to see somebody else's perspective during the snap or the fallout of the snap.
The snap, blip, all that has affected so many different aspects.
Yeah. Like Far From Home shows it a lot and stuff. But yeah, there's various properties that I love that. I love seeing what other people's perspectives were during that.
Right.
Yeah. Another classic episode with the Fishbag Boys. Thank you very much for watching. While you're here, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it. And since you're still here, why not share it with somebody? Word of mouth's not dead. It just changed form, and it's still one of the most important ways to get small creators out there. So if you want to help us succeed, share this with somebody you think might like it. They might subscribe too. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin the Human. Joining me on this episode was Bob Collins, Boba Fett, and James Odell, Alpha Spectre. We'll see you on the next one for the final part, talking about the future of the MCU and our thoughts on that. Stay tuned.